It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 1160. Good morning to you. So glad that you're with us. And okay, I gave you the big setup for this, our conversation with Jay and Shannon from Hutton-Blews Insurance. And we'll reveal to you, if you're watching on Facebook, you probably recognize them already. We'll reveal to you the names and talk to the three-point shooters who were the best in Indiana County this year. In our conversation with the folks from Hutton-Blews Insurance, and the 3 for 3 is brought to you by Marcus and Mack, a law firm representing injured people. And it's a really, really special thing that Jay and Shannon, you do for the Teddy Bear Fund Drive. And so I'm going to ask you both to come up to the microphones first before we make the big reveal. Jay Blues, Shannon Blues. Gosh almighty, I might as well just start the segment all over again, huh? Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We're glad that you're with us here today. This has been how many years?
We were just talking about that. We're not totally sure. We're
At
thinking
least
at
7.
least 7.
Yeah.
7 years?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And every year you come through. And we always point out the fact that you're guys that went to Marion Center, both of you, right?
No, we actually both graduated from Elderton High School.
Did you really?
In Armstrong County, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But his kids go to Marion Center. My kids go to Indiana. We feel strongly about supporting kids' activities in our area.
That's the thing, is that you've made this 3 for 3s all about Indiana County's kids.
We do, and especially because we live in the county. Our children are growing up here. Mm-hmm. We know kids from all the schools. So as much as we get solicited for donations, we really wanted to focus on one thing or a couple of things that give back to the community here, mainly here. And the Teddy Bear Fund Drive was one of those things. And on top of that, just make it about the kids too in the county.
So a couple of old Bobcats. How about that?
Yeah.
How about that? So you came up with 3 for 3s, which is you give $3 for every three-pointer hit by a boys or girls basketball player from our Indiana County schools. That is just an amazing thing for all of these years. And somebody has to add them up.
Right.
We're glad somebody with a better math mind than mine is able to do that, because then we come up with champions like we're celebrating today. But it's for the Teddy Bear Fund Drive. And that's, to me, what makes it such a special thing. It's because now you're talking about kids from Indiana Regional Medical Center who have pediatric care there. You're talking about children from Indiana County who take advantage of the free care fund at Children's Hospital in Pittsburgh. It must be a very special thing to you.
It is. And both of our kids were born in the hospital. And that's really why that we gravitated toward this program and children in general, because the majority of that money goes to our pediatric unit and then the rest goes to Children's Hospital. So that's really why we chose, this program to focus on.
Yeah. And so did you know either of these two kids here before?
No. We just met them this morning.
This young man and young woman.
They seem like great kids.
Yeah, they do.
They're graduated seniors now, so I'm not allowed to call them kids anymore.
But let's introduce them. Bryan Koches is the boys shooter of the year, and Megan Dumm is the girls shooter of the year. Both of you from Penns Manor High School. And you were the two players in boys and girls basketball in Indiana County who hit the most three-pointers in this season. And both from Penns Manor, both of you, as Megan's shirt says, both of you on your way to IUP. Where, Brian, what did you say you're studying?
Safety science.
Safety science. Yeah. So you're both going to study safety science. Megan points out that you chose that major first.
No.
You picked that one first.
That's a lie.
So the question naturally has to be, the two of you getting on a court together, have you ever had yourselves a three-point shooting contest between the two of you?
I don't think.
No.
Jay, Shannon, I think we could make this happen, right?
That's a great idea.
That's a good idea.
I think we could make this happen. You're both graduated seniors now, though, and I've been covering you for years. Megan, let's start with you because, you and I, and really your sister Lauren, we started this little tradition between the three of us of our post-game interview segments, which are legendary now. So I've known you for such a long time, and you've always been somebody who played the game with a smile on your face. And that's something that I always think is important. But playing for Penns Manor High School obviously was very special to you, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it's just, I feel like my freshman year going in, and even before that, like the girls and the coaches, they just made such an impact, and I just wanted to be a part of that. And it's been really special.
Penns Manor girls basketball has been so good for so long, and you became a part of that right away. You were a go-to shooter for that team. Where did your 3-point shooting touch come from? Mom or dad?
Oh, geez. I can't. See, neither of them really played basketball, so I can't say one or the other. But probably just even growing up, like playing with. I have 3 older brothers and Lauren, so I was definitely. I feel like, I don't know, given
Little
the
family
underdog
competition.
Yeah,
huh?
I was the underdog and all that, so
Yeah.
definitely made me to be a little tough.
So you had to stand outside a little bit just to get
Yeah.
the shot off. And you learned to do it. And you hit so many big shots. When we think about it, I always think about the shot against Guilfoyle that sent the game into overtime in the D6 title game. What are your biggest shots down through the years that you have reflected on?
The Guilfoyle game was definitely up there, but the game before that, the Bishop McCourt to get us into that game, that was a big shot. It was exciting. I'm trying to think.
There were a ton of them. There were a ton of games where teams looked for you, where your teammates looked for you to hit that 3-point shot that would win them the game, or at least get them to tie the game, which it did in that Guilfoyle game. But a lot of special shots for you down through the years with Penns Manor. Special times.
Yeah, and it's obviously teammates too, just finding the open person, and I've had some really awesome teammates throughout the years.
Yeah, it helps when there are other weapons on the team
Yeah.
because they can't just focus on one player.
Yeah.
Bryan Koches, yours is a little bit of a different story. You sort of, and Jay Hill is standing behind you, you sort of came out of nowhere here in this senior year, and all of a sudden everyone said, what was it, number 4, right?
Yeah.
They said, who's number 4? You know, how come he all of a sudden is shooting all these 3-pointers and they're all going in? What happened to you last summer?
Well, I mean, I was outside every day, probably shooting. I was probably getting up 400 threes a day. You know, my dad would always be rebounding for me, just kicking out. Just every day of the summer, I was shooting.
So that was an intentional thing for you.
Yeah. I was kind of upset. You know, 9th grade year, my other 2 classmates moved up and I didn't get to, so I was out there shooting 9th grade, 10th grade year.
Yeah. And so you really made yourself into a 3-point shooter, especially in this past year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Pretty amazing thing. But it wasn't just the 3-point shot. You also had a lot of team leading responsibilities. You were distributing the ball and really turned into a really complete basketball player. And I don't want to make it seem as if you were not good in your sophomore, your junior years, because you were a great contributor then. But all of a sudden, you came on and you were a real team leader. And I know that coaching has a lot to do with that, but so do teammates and making it all about the team.
Yeah, I remember Max Hill, actually his son, he would just come on the court and he'd be like, "Get open, I'll find you." And he would always be finding me down the court.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Helps to have a big guy like Grimaldi down there.
Yeah,
too,
I just
huh?
feed him. That's what I was getting all my assists from.
That little inside-outside action, that helps a lot. Let's call Jay Hill in. Jay represents Renda Broadcasting here, but during this past year, Jay, you were representing Penns Manor as an assistant coach.
I was standing back behind these 2 student athletes and knowing that I got to see most of their threes go in. Todd, obviously watching Megan since she was very, very young. Just watching an outstanding individual grow up through basketball. Her abilities got better and better, and she was just a heck of a lot of fun to watch. We're going to miss you at Penns Manor, I can tell you that. And the ability to, or being fortunate enough to be able to coach Bryan this year. And his maturation, like you were talking about coming up from the last couple of years, the work that he put into it. I told him before we came in here, I wish we found him a little bit more. He was knocking everything down. It was really raining threes at Penns Manor this year, so it was a heck of a lot of fun.
Yeah,
And these 2 were a big part of it.
Both of the teams did so well this year at Penns Manor, and I don't think a lot of people were surprised by it because we could see it coming with both of you. But it was a different experience to see the boys' team coming on as they did, and to see the girls' team somehow maintaining what they were doing down through the years, despite the losses to graduation of some really good basketball players. It was really a fascinating thing to watch, to see how Penns Manor did it this year.
Yeah, it was just a lot of fun in both programs, supporting each other. In today's world, that support goes a long way, means a lot. So it was a lot of fun to be a Penns Manor fan in the basketball arenas this year.
Absolutely. Great seasons by the teams, great seasons by these 2 3-point shooters. So Jay and Shannon, if we could get you to come back in with us here this morning and maybe gather around with Bryan and with Megan. I know there will be photo ops afterwards, but if Jay, I see that there's another Jay. You've got the plaques in your hands, huh?
We do. I have plaques in hands for each of them. I just wanted to say a huge thank you to Jay and Shannon from Hutton-Blews on behalf of Renda Media, Renda Broadcasting. We take a lot of pride in our sports events and our local coverage of everything that we do in this community, but it doesn't happen without partners like you guys. The sponsorships for on air during the games, on our digital streams, and then, of course, giving back like you are right now to the Teddy Bear Fund Drive. So a sincere thank you from all of us here. Megan, I have your plaque. Congratulations, 57 three-pointers made this year.
Thank you.
Outstanding. And Bryan, I saw all 75 of them, buddy. Way to knock them down. Congratulations.
Pretty amazing things, and yeah, you heard one person back there clapping, but all across Indiana County, people are applauding the efforts by both Megan and by Bryan and by all of our 3-point shooters here in Indiana County, because they all contributed to the 3 for 3s from Hutton-Blews Insurance and Jay and Shannon most of all. It's really a special thing. Bryan, come up at the microphone. We said safety sciences at IUP. What's the career plan?
I actually don't know yet. I mean, I didn't really know going into college what I was wanting to go for, but my mom said IUP has a great safety science program, so.
Going to take it and see where it leads you.
Yeah.
What about you, Megan?
I don't know. I'm looking forward to just exploring like my opportunities, going on internships, just seeing what I like. Mm-hmm. But I think I'll definitely like safety science.
Yeah.
This will be the year to tell. I have a lot of classes, so.
Well, once these guys graduate from school, I don't generally get a chance to see them all that much. So to me, it's a bonus to be able to see both of you today, and I appreciate your coming in today. Jay and Shannon, as always, we appreciate what you do for the Teddy Bear Fund Drive. Jay Hill as well. Thanks to you. Thanks to everybody who took part in this year. He's back behind us, but Jerry Rossai is back there, and Jerry is a big part of this as well, so we thank him. All for the Teddy Bear Fund Drive. It's a wonderful thing. And so thanks again, everybody, and have yourselves wonderful summers, whatever's left in them.
Thank you.
IUP starting here in just a couple of weeks. It's the voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 1160. Fox News is next, and then the Bryan Kilmeade Show.